Hello, this is Greg Allison with Green Greg's coming to you on the 20th of September 2020, a lot of 20s. I'm here to talk about something highly concerning, very disturbing, and this is a follow-on to the video I did yesterday about covet not thy neighbor. You know what, I should take this as my backdrop, right? Comedians like a brick wall. Maybe I should take a pine wall. Pines or flowers, whatever. We got goldenrod back here. In mainland China, the nation of the People's Republic of China, which is controlled by the Communist Party, Chinese Communist Party. You might use the word communist with quotation marks in my humble opinion, but whatever they are, and communism either, I don't have any desire for either. Okay, so what am I getting at? This is, again, a follow-on to the video I did yesterday, covet not thy neighbor. Because there's a lot of neighbor coveting going on over there. Now, let me put a little disclaimer on here. There's some really good people in China. There's some really good Han Chinese people. There's some really good, smart people everywhere in the world, of every background and persuasion, every race, creed, and color. This is more about the political system that controls them. The politics, not the people. I just did a video about two Chinas. So there are two Chinas, and there's different people in each China, and even within China there's different peoples. And there's peoples that are being taken and oppressed. There's people who have been coveted and taken over. So many people may remember the Free Tibet movement. From it was real popular for a while. The Dalai Lama was real popular for a while. That's kind of gotten forgotten of late, right? Because of the economic influence of the People's Republic of China, because people covet their money, they have the greed to do business with them, and part of the terms of business is you just don't talk about things like Tibet anymore. The Tibetans are not a happy people. They have been conquered. They have the Chinese moving in and displaced them within their own territory. They're moving in big time. You have, and in fact, it was Tibetan service members and Indians special forces that defeated the Chinese on a little border skirmish they had recently. They basically outmaneuvered them. They outflanked them. The Chinese thought they were going to outflank the Indians by taking the high ground. And it just so happened the special forces in India had the guys from the mountains in the high ground, Tibet, who knew the area well and were well motivated because they just hate the People's Liberation Army, the CCP, the PRC, and they took an even higher ground and outflanked them and surprised them. And that was a recent defeat the Chinese suffered there at the hands of the Indian Army in the Himalayan mountains. But it was thanks to the special forces, mostly from Tibet. These guys were ready. We all know about the Uyghurs. Maybe you don't. They're a Muslim group of people in Western China known as the Uyghurs. They're from a province known as Xinjiang. And that province is taken over and ruled by the CCP, the PRC, and it's basically today an open-air prison. And they have concentration camps, and it's believed to be possibly up to 3 million Uyghurs in these concentration camps. Recently, 13 tons of human hair were intercepted, I believe it's in New York, here in the United States, as wigs, but it's human hair. It's believed to have came from these Uyghur slave concentration camps. Yeah, they're slave labor. A lot of our American companies use a lot of this slave labor. Like Nike, and Nike pays some of our people a lot of money that take a bow because they're not respecting what's going on in the United States, but they take that Nike money. How can you respect them, really? They take the Nike money. How's Nike making their money? So, what do you think about it? A lot of hypocrisy in the world, a lot of political plays, a lot of money plays. So you need to think about that. You need to think about Tibet, the Uyghurs. The Uyghurs are having forced sterilization put upon them for population control so that they can be displaced by the Han. They are being taken and having their organs harvested. The same thing that's happening to a religious minority in mainland China, and these are Chinese people, just happen to have a religion that's something other than the religion of the state, the CCP, and that is the Falun Gong. And they're also having their organs harvested. They're being captured, killed, having their organs harvested. And you know, the organ harvest business is big in China. Isn't it interesting how some of our American elite always get an organ? You know, some people have to be on a list for so long. How long are these guys on the list? Cheney, how many hearts did Cheney get? How long does men like Kissinger live? And how long David Rockefeller lived? You know, all these guys are living to be, you know, 100-year-old. Yeah, I can see one or two, but it seems like a whole lot more than you would think are making a lot longer than you would think. You know, what about old Brzezinski? What's going on with him? Yeah, there's so many of these people I believe are purely evil, and they really favor the CCP. So let's think about some more. What else has the CCP done? They have, in their history, through cultural purification, cultural revolutions, killed 80 million of their own people, far more than any other country. They started attacking. They had a little war with Vietnam once, and the whole reason they wanted to fight and attack Vietnam is because Vietnam overthrew their buddies, the Khmer Rouge. The Khmer Rouge, as you may recall, under Pol Pot, killed a third of the people of Cambodia, their own people, a third. So this is what communist countries do. Communist countries kill massive numbers of their own people to try to get the culture pure, so everybody will go along with their system. The problem is, it goes against human nature. This idea that you can't have property rights, the idea that you can't have freedoms, it goes against human nature. You might culture an entire culture to be that way, but sooner or later they're going to get unhappy. Think about Tiananmen Square in 1989, the most recent case where the students were having these hunger strikes and set-ins, and the CCP cracked down on them and killed over 10,000. Killed over 10,000 in 1989. That recently. You know, we think, well, maybe the CCP wasn't so bad under some of the previous rulers. It's just Xi Jinping. No, not at all. He is just the latest flavor, the latest version. And yeah, he has got his own flair for tyranny, it seems. But think about it. We once said, look, what's going on with the Uyghurs is a Holocaust. It's a Holocaust. When Germany fell, we saw what happened to the Jewish people. We said never again. But we absolutely embraced this time because of our greed for dealing with China, for the so-called opportunities with China. At least we have. But now some people are beginning to back away from it. Some people are beginning to see better. And Disney has been routinely criticized lately for their endorsements and the thank yous they gave to the people where they filmed the regime there in charge of the home state of the Uyghurs, the CCP regime, the PRC regime that's overlording them. Thank them for their cooperation there in Xinjiang. And guess what? Some people caught that and were somewhat less than pleased with Disney, rightfully so. Maybe you should boycott Disney. I would highly recommend it. I'd highly recommend boycotting all these companies that deal in blood and slavery. That includes Nike and the people that get their money from them, the people that get their endorsements from them. You know, all these people are out there trying to be holier than thou and putting on faces and facades. No. You got blood on your hands. You got slavery on your hands. I don't care what color you are aiding and abetting slavery and genocide. Nobody has a right to own and dominate another people. It will make you sick. It will make you twisted. In fact, wanting to do that, sick and twisted. That's when I took that sick, twisted character, Gollum, and used that in my video yesterday. Yeah, it was funny. It did put a little sense of humor on it. But the truth is, it's ugly. You know, Adolf Hitler didn't have anything over Xi Jinping, or the CCP for that matter. And even Xi Jinping's predecessors, to include Mao. Nope, Hitler didn't have anything on them. And, you know, let's see, China's a nationalist nation or socialist nation. What is nationalist socialism? Go look it up. Oh yeah, they do allow people to get rich. Is that what you do under communism? You know, they have state industries. What's that remind you of? Fascism? You know, guys, look it up. So many people are claiming you're anti-fascism, yet you want that very system. You're even being paid and supported by those very same forces. They would like to bring that here. They want to bring the United States to its knees because we're what's standing between them and world domination. Now, the United States is not perfect. We've had our own crimes. The way we treated Indians was the worst thing of all. The American Indians, the Native Americans. Slavery was an awful thing in this country too. The slavery continues to this day. And modern society aids and abets it today. And it's been done in many parts of the world. China just being maybe foremost. But they have no monopoly at all on that. So, it's something you need to think about. You know, look at Mongolia. Inner Mongolia. Inner Mongolia is within China. It is provinces of Mongolian people that the Chinese conquered. More Mongolian people live in Inner Mongolia within the Chinese sphere, within the, you know, what's called the PRC, People's Republic of China, than live in Mongolia. Yet they've just been told they can't teach Mongolian in their schools. Sounds familiar? It sounds like what we did with the Native Americans. Is that right? No, it's not right. It is not right for 1 minute. So we said never again, and yet we are happily embracing and supporting it today with what's going on with the Uyghurs, what's going on with the Falun Gong, Inner Mongolia, Hong Kong. Oh my God, Hong Kong was supposed to have a, you know, one China but two systems, and was supposed to have their freedoms by treaty with Britain until the year 1947. And look what's happened. Look what's happened. China just totally swept all that away. So you trust a treaty with the Communist Party? You really trust them? Let's see how they operate. Let's see. They ignored the Hague when it comes to the 9-dash line and that ruling the Hague had against them over the Philippine island. And yet, they're buying out countries' votes in the UN because they know when they get the upper hand in the UN that we will obey the UN, unlike them. Yeah, they're fighting asymmetrical legal warfare with us in that regard. So beware the CCP. I say we should cut all ties with them, all ties with mainland China, completely. We tried to trust them. I once believed that you could have peace through interdependence, that would be a good route. But the Chinese people, no, not the Chinese people, I'm sorry, the CCP is headstrong. They got their own mind about that, and it is highly divergent, and it's failed. It's utterly failed. We need to learn our lesson and regroup fast. Our time is short. You know, when we fought Germany, we beat them by a war of attrition because we could out-manufacture them. China's a manufacturing center of the world today. They have far more people. So the Chinese have a lot of advantages that the Germans did not have. They have a lot of advantages that the Japanese did not have. They have more advantages than both of them put together. This is the biggest challenge we've ever faced in our world today. It is the biggest challenge. So, the purpose of this video is to tell you that there is a country that do covet other people. They covet the world. They covet our land, you and I, but only as slaves, to be tolerated into such time as they can get rid of us. They have no use for us, no more than they do the people in their own country. So think about that. Right now, we're just a means to the ends of their total conquest. Yeah, they got the long view. If it takes a century, 2 centuries, they're fine with that. But that's their goal. But the good news is this. The people of China, the good people of China, are tired of having this tyranny boot on their neck. There's cracks. There's some signs and pressure that they might just throw this boot off their neck. They might go for freedom. That's our hope. That's our biggest hope of all, is that the people in China find a way to get rid of the party, the CCP, that they find a pathway to freedom, that they overthrow the system. And maybe they will then reunite with the Republic of China. It already has a democratic government based in Taiwan, which was formerly known as the Island of Formosa. So maybe they will just reunite. And upon reuniting, maybe, you know, the Republic of China will return to mainland China as the Republic of China. And that's how the China will be reunited, not under the PRC. Then China would prosper greatly with freedom. It would not be such a threat. And if they grow and prosper then they do so rightly, legally. That's all right, with free and open competition. Instead of all the pressures, cheating. China's cheated their way into everything. They stole our patents. They stole our technology. They deal unfairly with us. And it's time to stop it. So, but I'm talking about the PRC, People's Republic of China, led by the CCP, mainly the CCP, the leadership of the CCP. Now, there's probably rank and file members of the CCP that are quite okay, probably some good people way down in the rank and file of it. They sold or sold the devil to be in it. So, my friends, let's hope for the best. Let's hope that our first hope is that people in China who are suffering under this regime will find a way to free themselves. That's my hope. So we need to pray for that. Elsewise, share your love and your light to the world. Yeah, I'm using my phone now. I can't find my other camera. I'm just not used to using this thing. So pardon me. I want to look to the center, and that's not the right place to look. The camera's right there, right? Anyway, you can support my channel by subscribing, bang the update notification bell, and click all. Then you can also support my channel by going to True Leaf Market and buying seed. You need to grow a garden. You need to grow your own food. True Leaf Market, you can even grow in your house for the winter time, or if you live in apartments. That's a great thing to do. So, and there's all kind of, I've got videos on growing microgreens. There's all kind of supplies for growing microgreens at True Leaf Market. The links are in the show notes, and just click more, and click more on the pinned notes where I pin my notes. Also go in and look, go to prepwithgreg.com. You really need to be prepping right now, because we may be on the verge of war with China. We seriously may be on the verge of war with them. So, and you know, the civil strife in this country, the economy of this country, there's a lot of questions about how we're going to get through the future. And right now is the time to prep. Go to prepwithgreg.com right now and get 4 week supply, a 25-year lasting food. 4 week supply for a great price of $100 off. That's an excellent deal. That's like a third of the price gone. That's just an awesome deal there. So yeah, and the prices I expect to go up. Availability may go down because we're getting really crunched in the food supply area. So do what you can with that. Anyway, everyone, I say thank you for watching.